So, Senator Marsha Blackburn here in Tennessee has now announced that she's going to be running for the governor of Tennessee. And I cannot count the number of people who have reached out to me and asked me what my thoughts are on this, and I have a whole lot of them. But a whole lot of the people, too, who have asked me what I think about it also wants to know what Gloria Johnson thinks about it. And I've had so many people say to me, Brando, we would love to hear you talk with Gloria. Well, mark this on your calendar because this coming Tuesday, August the 12th at noon, right here on the channel, I'm going to be sitting down with Representative Gloria Johnson here on the channel. Gloria Johnson represents District 90 out of Knox County here in Tennessee. She ran against Marsha for Senate. She knows her very well, and so I know she's got a lot to say about it. When I texted her and said, hey, you need to come back on the channel and talk to me about Marsha running for governor, she said, you just read my mind. So it'll be a great conversation with me and Gloria Johnson this coming Tuesday at noon Eastern Time, August 12th. Be sure to tune in for it. It's going to be a good show. It's always a great conversation with Gloria. But I'm not at all surprised by this. Marsha Blackburn has had a death grip on Tennessee politics for many years. She's someone who always follows the money and always follows the special interests. So this is nothing more than another power grab for her. I'm glad to see Bill Lee done and going on about his day. But I knew that someone was going to step into that spot and it was going to be bad no matter how you slice it. There for a minute we were hearing rumors that Pete Hegseth was considering running for the governor of Tennessee and had actually thought about it. And I had people say to me, Brando, do you really think that someone like a Pete Hegseth could win in Tennessee? And the answer is absolutely. Yeah, he could. And when I travel around this country and I go to blue states and I talk to people and they'll ask me, everybody in the blue state always asks me the same thing about Tennessee. They'll say, Brandon, why does people continue to always vote against their own interests there? And I tell them it always starts in the churches. It always starts in people's upbringing around here. They are brought up to believe that the D stands for devil. They are brought up to believe that the Democrats are the absolute biggest villains and the most evil form that there is. They're taught that from a young age, and then they just sit and watch a steady diet of Fox News and Newsmax, and they believe every word that they hear to be true. Then they turn on all the bro podcasters, and they believe every word they say to be true. And so it's really hard to get out and get ahead of that when it's ingrained in people in their churches and everyday life. And if you come to Tennessee and go in any barber shop or sit down in any waiting room waiting on the doctor or go to any bar or club and look up at the TV, Fox News is playing. And people are sitting there watching it. Fox News is like Coca-Cola around here. Everybody's drinking it. And they don't know anything else. And so it's going to be one of those things. What we're going to have to do if we're going to get out ahead of this thing and beat people like Marsha Blackburn is we're going to have to start driving home the point that we, like Gloria Johnson has said before here on the channel, we actually have the better ideas. And we have the ideas that are more popular with the American people. It's just that the Republicans have done a masterful job in messaging and convincing people that they have their best interest at heart when the only thing Marsha Blackburn has ever had at heart was the special interest. And she's just always following the money. What we have to do is we have to point out where we stand on issues and let people understand that we actually have their best interest at heart. Because I don't want to come off like I'm shitting on Tennessee in these videos. I truly ain't. There is a lot of good, hard-working, reasonable people right here in Tennessee. And if you sat down on a bar stool with them and say you was having a beer and you just started talking about life in general, and you didn't say the word Democrat, you didn't say the word Republican, instead you just started talking about groceries. You started talking about how expensive things were. You started talking about minimum wage. You started talking about a living wage. You started talking about health care. If you started comparing, family stories about, hey, I had to take my mom to the doctor. Oh, yeah, I had to take my dad to get a pacemaker, those type of things. If you started having those kind of conversations, you would find out you've got so much more in common. But where we always get tripped up around here is when I say, okay, well, if you want your life to be better, you're going to have to stop voting for them Republicans who only have the special interest at heart. The minute I say to somebody, in order to get that done, you're going to have to vote for Gloria Johnson, it's like, well, hold on a minute. She's a Democrat. Wait a minute. I don't know if I can go there. Even if they sat and talked with Gloria, heard her out, and was like, yeah, she makes a whole lot of sense, they're still going to have that hesitation because of the way they've been raised and the way they've been taught. And hunting and fishing's a big thing in this part of the world, and patriotism's a big thing in this part of the world. People are brought up, and guns are heirlooms. They're handed down through generations. And it's like, well, the Democrats are going to come take my papa's gun away from me. And so they may agree with everything she has to say, and then at the end of the day turn around and go, well, but I'm afraid they're going to take my guns. It always comes back to that. But when it comes to the Marsha Blackburns, the Bill Lees, the Tim Burchetts and the Andy Ogles, who, by the way, is like now eyeing that seat and saying maybe they'll want to get in there. The thing about those kind of politicians, I've seen them for years. There was a time when they was more your run-of-the-mill GOP kind of candidate, just your kind of Reagan, Bush, Cheney kind of Republican. That's what they were for a while until they saw the grift of Donald Trump working. And when these people saw the grift of Donald Trump working, they went right for it and they rolled right with it. And to me, there is absolutely nothing in this world worse than Donald Trump's act with a Southern accent. When I hear Tim Burchett doing Donald Trump's act, when I hear Marsha Blackburn doing that aw shucks kind of act, and doing that with MAGA intentions, it's one of the most disgusting things to me, because I say to myself, we have got to get away from this type of thinking, and we've got to get away from these people having a death grip on our politics, because you won't see people here in Tennessee. If you come here, you won't see people here in Tennessee decked out in Marsha Blackburn gear. They don't have Marsha Blackburn flags flying off their truck. You drive the back country roads, you're going to see very few signs. You might see a little yard sign here and there, but you're not going to see people decked out in her gear and fangirling out over her. They don't. It's Trump. That's who they love. That's who they do that for. And if you was talking to them about Marsha Blackburn, I guarantee you a good chunk of them would agree that she's a crook. I can't count the times that I've been sitting on a bar stool having a beer with somebody in Kentucky and bring up Mitch McConnell or bring up Rand Paul and talk about what crooks they are, and the people will sit right there with me and go, yeah, man, they're full of shit. Yeah, Marsha Blackburn, man, she's a pure crook. I know that. Well, then vote against her. Well, at least she ain't a Democrat. And that's what we wind up headbutting every time here in Tennessee. So I'm not at all shocked that she's going to run for governor. This is just a power grab for her. Yes, I'm glad to see Bill Lee gone, but think about it from our angle. Bill Lee's leaving, and the now we hear Marsha Blackburn, and before that we was hearing Pete Hegseth. So we were going to be fucked one way or the other. It's like when I first told my mom that Pete Hegseth was considering it, she was like, "Can we move? Where's the nearest blue state?" It's like, let's get the hell out of here. But that's not the type of people we are. I'm not going to leave Tennessee. I'm Tennessee Brando. I put that in my name for a reason, because not everybody in Tennessee is like that. And we're not going to leave it. We're not going to walk away from it and let them have it and let them continue to run it in the ground. We're going to stand up to them. And, I love Tennessee. I love this place. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's my home. I grew up here. I love it, and I love the people. And I even love the people that was brainwashed into the cult, and I just wish they would come back out of it and realize, hey, we're voting against our own interest, and we're sitting here mad at these blue states who always are coming to our rescue when we need it. I just think that I think people sometimes misunderstands people like me and Gloria. They think that we're just trying to do a bunch of MAGA bashing and Republican bashing, and that's not it at all. We're just trying to get through to them and say, hey, there's a better way of life out there, and Marsha Blackburn for Tennessee is not that better way of life. Bill Lee sure hasn't been. It's a very authoritarian state. I've always said that if you wanted to know what Project 2025 was about, Tennessee's been laying that blueprint and showing people how to do it for years. And we've had to face that. But we've had good people like Gloria Johnson and Justin Jones and Justin Pearson standing up and getting thrown out and coming back in and continuing the fight. We've got a lot of good people here in Tennessee, a lot of reasonable people here in Tennessee, and we also have a lot of reasonable Republicans here in Tennessee who, if they would just get over that hurdle of at least it ain't a Democrat, then maybe they would come around to understanding where we're coming from, and they would be able to get us back to some voice of reason. I hope we can get there one day. But I tell you what I am looking forward to. That is this coming Tuesday. That'll be August 12th at noon Eastern. I will be talking with Gloria Johnson right here on the channel, and we're going to have a whole lot more to say about Marsha Blackburn running for governor. It's always a great conversation with Gloria. She's a down-to-earth, good person, and I consider her a friend, and you will too when you get done listening. So be sure to tune into that, and it's going to be a great show.